Namaskar. Welcome to this edition of News Bulletin. In the headlines today, project undertaken by Pioneer Quality Circle of Electronics and Automation Department brings about several tangible and intangible benefits for the company. And more than 100 cyclists participate in the cycle rally in Rourkela.
In the headlines today, thrust on infrastructure sector and a host of related measures in the Union Budget 2021 will spur the domestic demand and will provide a fillip to the economy, says Mr. Deepak Chattara, CEO, RSP. And Safety Awareness Program Pratibimba held at Roll Shop of SAIL RSP.
NDRF personnel provides emergency response training on disaster management to employees of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant. And Karamveer Award function held at RCM Department.
Now, the news in detail. The creative ideas of the enterprising employees of Pioneer Quality Circle of Rourkela Steel Plant's Electronics and Automation Department have helped in bringing about a substantial savings of around Rs 70 lakhs for the company. The team comprising Mr. Pramod Kumar Raj, Master Technician, Mr. Natbar Behra, Master Technician, Mr. Dev Prasad Das, Senior Technician, Mr. Sandeepan Mishra, Senior Technician, and Mr. Jayant Kumar Bhattare, Senior Technician of E&A Department, left no stone unturned to successfully implement the project aimed at enhancing the production of Steel Melting Shop 2 undertaken as a quality circle endeavour. The facilitator of the group was Mr. Ashok Kumar Nayak, Senior Manager E&A. It may be noted that Steel Melting Shop processes the hot metal, also known as molten iron, received from the blast furnaces to produce desired quality of steel. The process demands analysis of the sample taken from the furnace after blowing with the help of optical emission spectrometer installed in Steel Melting Shop 2 R&C lab. The analysis report is the basis to take decision on the quantity of flux and alloying element to be charged to the furnace for producing desired quality of steel. In case of technical snag of this OES equipment, samples from basic oxygen furnace were taken to the R&C laboratory for analysis. The additional time consumed in the process used to adversely affect production. As the system had been obsolete, it was recommended for replacement with its new version, which cost about Rs 1 crore. A thorough study helped the team to identify the route because that was present in the OES. The team, with the help of Research and Control Laboratories Department, successfully designed and installed the new circuit to generate 12 volt 150 Hz instead of 550 volt 150 Hz for ignition of coil primarily, as it was beyond repair due to discrete components. All the components and accessories were assembled using in-house resources. The system reduced delay in getting analysis report and increased the resultant production. Apart from the projected financial benefits, the new system improved the efficiency, productivity, quality, and safety of the department. The new system also facilitates hassle-free maintenance and low power consumption involved thereby. The project helped the team to bag Par Excellence Award in NCQC 2020 held in virtual mode recently. More than 100 cyclists participated in the cycle rally in Rourkela. More than 100 cyclists across age group braved the chilly winter morning on 31st January to take part in the cycle rally conducted by Indian Oil Corporation Limited. Mr. Rajveer Singh ED-PNA RSP flagged off the cycle rally at Sector 2 ground. Present on the occasion were senior officials of Indian Oil Corporation and eminent personalities of the city. The cyclothon covered a distance of 2.5 km starting from Sector 2 ground to Sector 6. The rally was meant to bring about fuel consciousness among the residents and create an eco-friendly lifestyle, paving the way for a better future for future generations.
Now, the news in detail. Thrust on infrastructure sector and a host of related measures in the Union Budget 2021 will spur the domestic demand and will provide a fillip to the economy, said Mr. Deepak Chattara, CEO, Rourkela Steel Plant, while speaking in a webinar on Union Budget 2021. Mr. Chattara was the chief guest in the webinar organized on 6th February 2021 by the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, ICAI, Rourkela chapter. Mr. V.S. Date, renowned author and indirect tax consultant, and Dr. K.C. Mishra, former Vice Chancellor, Sri Sri University, were the keynote speakers of the webinar. The webinar was attended by a number of finance professionals, students, and people from different strata of professions. The CEO, in his address, appreciated the ICAI Rourkela chapter for organizing such an important webinar within a few days of the presentation of the Union Budget. Describing the Union Budget 2021 as a progressive budget, Mr. Chattara's father said, "Everyone's eye was on the Union Budget this year in view of the coronavirus pandemic effects. The thrust on infrastructure sector and announcement of similar projects for roads, rail and ports, along with rural and urban housing development, will see a boost in demand for construction materials such as steel and cement, which have witnessed subdued growth on account of sluggish global as well as domestic market conditions during the pandemic period." He also said that the first digital budget with Indian-made tablet has proved once again that Indian administration is advancing towards Atmanirbhar Bharat and being tech-savvy. Mr. Date and Mr. Mishra elaborated upon the various important features of the Union Budget 2021 and its likely impact on the people and the economy. At the outset, Mr. Praveen Nigam, CGM, FNA and Chairman ICAI Rourkela chapter welcomed the gathering. Mr. S.P. Parhi, former Chairman EIRC, was the moderator of the program. Mr. N.K. Nanda, GM FNA, RSP and Vice Chairman ICAI Rourkela chapter, Mr. S.C. Sahu, DGM FNA, RSP and Secretary ICAI Rourkela chapter and other office bearers of the chapter joined the webinar. Mr. R.R. Sarangi, DGM FNA, RSP, was the host of the program. A new safety initiative, Pratibimba, was held at the roll shop of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant on 6th February 2021. Mr. D. Datta, CGM HSN, presided over the inaugural function. In all 9 employees of roll shop who have completed less than 10 years of service in the company participated in the program. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Datta emphasized upon making accident-free steel and encouraged the young employees to create awareness regarding job safety and road safety. Earlier, Mr. K. Behera, GM in charge roll shop, delivered the welcome address and gave a brief outline of the program. The main objective of the program was to develop a strong safety culture among the young employees. The half-day training program covered sessions on BBS, behavior-based safety while working in confined space, material handling, high-speed rotating device safety, basic PPEs and appliances, government rules for factory and companies' rules with regard to safety violation. The faculty members were from Roll Shop, Energy Management Department, Safety Engineering Department and Personnel Departments. The program was coordinated by Mr. J.C. Lakra, DGM and DSO Roll Shop. Notably, 35 young employees have been identified for the training program who will be covered within 4 weeks.
Coming to the news in details, a 6-day emergency response training program on disaster management commenced at SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant on 8 February 2021. The program is being conducted by a team of personnel from 9th Battalion of National Disaster Response Force led by Mr. Alok Kumar, Deputy Commandant of the unit. The inaugural session of the program was organized at CPTI. Mr. Pankaj Kumar, ED Projects, with the additional charge of ED Works, presided over the inaugural session and inaugurated the program. Mr. Arun Pradhan, CGM Plate Mill and Auxiliary Safety Fire, Ms. Rajeshri Banerjee, GM in charge HRD, Mr. Abhishek Kumar Rai, Deputy Commandant, NDRF and other senior officers were present on the occasion. A total of 61 employees working on the field of safety, medical, fire services and operations are participating in the training program. It is worth mentioning here that the detailed training module has been designed keeping in view the emergency response requirements of the steel plant. Besides elaborative theoretical inputs, the team is also organizing mock exercises and practical sessions to make the participants learn the basics of emergency response. Earlier, Mr. A.K. Pradhan delivered the welcome address. Mr. Alok Kumar spoke about NDRF and also on the details of the training module. Mr. J.B. Patnaik, DGM Fire, proposed a formal vote of thanks. Mr. P.S. Thakre, DGM Fire, anchored the inaugural function. A Karamveer Award function was held at Repair and Construction Maintenance Department of SAIL Rourkela Steel Plant recently, in which Mr. J.D. Shetty, GM in charge RCM, presented the award and token gift to Mr. Dukhabandhu Seth, Senior Technician RCM, for his exemplary contribution. Present on the occasion were other senior officers and employees of the department. It may be noted that Mr. Seth was recognized for successful replacement of bottom universal spindle, a job that required high technical expertise and material handling skill. He was also instrumental in executing safe rigging activities and removal and fixing back of measure sub-assemblies. Some of his other outstanding contributions are Coke Oven Reclaimer 1 and 2 chain replacement, Coke Oven PBCC drive gearbox and intermediate shaft fixing, Coke Oven Wagon Tippler 2 RAF broken tire rod changing and Skip Car 1 and 2 derailing job. Mr. Seth's contribution in RCM towards jobs requiring complicated material handling skill at various units such as blast furnace, coke oven, steel melting shop 1 and 2, sintering plant 1 and 2, plate mill and hot strip mill are well appreciated by all. The function was coordinated by Mr. Sanjeev Behra, Deputy Manager Personnel. That's all from our news desk today. Namaskar.